is for you.
What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, I always wanted to do that. I'm sorry. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. Y'all know what it is, man. And I am here, as always, with my guy, my co-captain, Brandon. What is going on? How you doing, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Another beautiful damn paradise, man. The Eagle. We'll get into like the coaching staff in a minute. Shout out to everybody already in here. We already got 20 people in here. That's what's up. I'm feeling famous. But no, we'll get into the coaching staff in a minute. I know everybody's seeing. We were just talking about it, so we might as well keep on going. Everybody's seeing what's going on with this with Howie. All right, we've seen the report. We don't know how true it is. You know, it is what it is. What are your thoughts? I'll read the report just for the people that don't know exactly what we're talking about.
Let's hear it.
If I can find it. I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to speak. Everybody always be thinking we clickbaiting, so. I'm finding it. I promise. No problem, I really don't want to say the wrong thing because you know how it goes, Brandon. If I say the wrong thing, man, they're gonna be on me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He said the, not the. He said the, not the. Stop it.
Hit you up in the comments.
Trying to kick Blake.
Attack your Instagram, Twitter,
seriously,
Facebook. It's a wrap.
Okay, so this is one of them. We'll go to the other one too. But this one is the one where Carson is on good terms with everyone in the Eagles organization, including Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni, and has been in contact with both. However, Wentz is refusing to answer any Howie's calls. His issues appear to be solely with Howie. And this is per 97.5 The Fanatic, which I didn't personally hear it. This is coming from Eagle Nation, their Twitter, Everybody's a Twitter analyst nowadays. So
yes, sir.
We'll start with that one. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like we all knew this. But go ahead. What are your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, number one, outside of my opinion about Howie, is how in the world does anyone get this kind of information? Like, how does a professional organization, which is held in the highest of regards in like the American sports echelon, like, how does this kind of information where specifically it says Wentz is ignoring calls from Howie Roseman? How does that information get leaked and who leaks this? Because there could only be like 3 people that may know if Howie's giving this dude a phone call, right? It ain't like Fletcher Cox is like, oh, he's not picking up the phone for Howie because Fletcher's down where he's living. Like everyone's at home, everyone's with their family, and who's leaking this information? And why? What's the point of making Howie look like the bad guy right now, unless it's someone on the inside that just doesn't like Howie like the rest of us at this point? I mean, you got ex-players leaving the team talking junk about Howie. You got us fans not happy with these contracts and draft picks that have been happening lately. Someone on the inside isn't too happy with Howie and is putting this information out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, we all hate Howie already, so they didn't really have to put out any stories for us to dislike him. But I mean, it's very convenient. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't hear it live. If anybody in the chat heard it, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they actually had somebody on. But yeah, I mean, we'll have a couple people on next week, so we can ask them. The media's been crazy lately. I don't want to go too. I don't want to go too far left and be like, oh, this is fake, this is that, but it's very ironic timing and it's very obvious. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like this is the type of news that you hear and you're like, no way. Carson doesn't like Howie. Like, how do you not like Howie? You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. It's very conveniently timed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it doesn't surprise me. So the other one that I was trying to find that I finally found, it was from Rob. I'm not going to say his last name right, but it's like Mahdi or he's really Maddie. I'm not really sure. Rob something. He's actually a verified, he's got that check. But he said former Eagles players told me Doug wasn't the problem. Carson isn't the problem. The problem is still here. This feeling has been expressed to me by several others recently. More people around the league have shared similar thoughts with me over the past week in Tampa. So my first question is, if it's such a known thing that this guy is either running people off, how does either running people off or just people just don't like him? I mean, that's like the overall, feeling that I'm getting from it. So how does this man have a job still? That's what I want to know. Like, how is Jeffrey continuously going in that bag of excuses that he has every year and finding one for this man? Like, he's ran everyone off. Like, if you go back to even Chip, we don't like Chip. It is what it is. But Chip didn't want to work with him after a year. Doug didn't even want to coach with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go down the list of our coaching staff, like, it's been him. It's always you. Your number 2 pick doesn't want to be around you, seemingly. It's like, right. How does he keep coming back? How is he keeping his job right now, Brandon? Give me answer.
Bro, it has to be sometimes when a guy is that rich and that powerful that he is able to just do whatever he wants. And Jeffrey Lurie, he just must have this connection with Howie that is like a very close friendship. Maybe he sees him as a son. I don't know. But this connection must be so strong that he's willing to forego this team at this point. Maybe it's not, I don't even want to say it as bad as it seems, because we just lost our head coach who obviously sabotaged himself. Our quarterback doesn't want to be here. There's going to be players, no matter what, that are going to fight anyways, because this is the NFL and this is where they want to be no matter what team they're on. But this is wild. It's just, we knew that there was something going on with Howie even during the off season, let alone what transpired throughout this season that was just low-key blatant of just like how bad it was. Like, this team shouldn't have been that bad. There should have been things. There should have been coaching decisions and stuff. And it's just now it's starting to look like self-sabotage because of not wanting to be around Howie. I don't know. Or maybe it's Howie and Jeff. Maybe it's you can't just put it all on Howie. It's the both of them.
I just don't understand how much power this man actually has. Because, like, to a certain extent, and my internet is messing up again. But either way, to a certain extent, I understand that hating your owner kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? But like, or hating your GM or your boss, whatever you want to call Howie to them. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. Like, this is wild for all this to be leaked right now. And like, a lot of people are saying it's Howie leaking it himself, which that would be funny. That would actually be hilarious. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right. I don't know if because my internet says it's messing up. So is my internet messing up or not? Can you see?
You went from like clear to like not so clear, but you're still moving fine and we can hear you.
All right.
I think. Can you hear me?
I don't know what's up with my internet right now. Yeah, I can hear you. It's like pissing me off though. Anyways, what was I saying? So yeah, it's crazy that we're this far. I don't know how we got it right for 1 year at least. So I mean, I guess we'll give him that. He got it right once, but go ahead.
He gambled correct, and maybe Jeff's holding on to that. It's just my question for you is: I know we're going to talk about the coaching staff, but do you really believe that they built this coaching staff for Wentz? Or is it starting to kind of look like it might be Hurts favorable?
I think they built it for whatever. I mean, they obviously weren't trying to get rid of him early on in this offseason. They said it a couple of times, which I mean, that should have been a clue right there that we were, not in good terms with him, because it's like they were consistently saying, we want to keep him. We want to. If you know that you and your guy are good, you probably wouldn't be saying want that much. You'd probably be saying, yeah, that's our guy moving forward. It's not a big, you know what I'm saying? Like, probably should have saw the signs coming, but it is what it is. But I mean, I think it was originally realistically the mindset was to get people to fix whatever, not even fix, but to just develop whatever quarterback is under center. I think that they understood and this is me hoping, honestly. I hope that they were realistic enough to know the possibility that this could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you knew in December that things were a little shaky. I would hope that by now you would be kind of like, or I should say, at least by the end of the season, that you're kind of like, well, we might not, keep Wentz. So let's at least get somebody that can fix anybody. That can, that's just because this staff, yeah, they have a lot of connections to. Well, some of them have connections to Jalen Hurts, I should say, but they're quarterback gurus. They're guys that can coach, that can teach. So I think it was hopefully more realistically done for any player that's in that position. They want just people that are going to groom and develop, which, I mean, that's good. That's where we should be. You know what I'm saying? We have like a nice little mixture of old and young right now. So we kind of have, the guys that are kind of the father figures. Then we also kind of got those, just on your same level, I understand where you're coming from type guys. So I'm excited. And we got a lot of former players. So that I always like that. I always like that.
And you got to speak on it too. Our coaching staff, like you said, not only are they young and then you have your veterans and everything, but it's pretty diverse when you look at it, which is also good.
He said, "Get EDP on the show." I'm actually good on that. I'm all right. He could do his thing. I don't even think he's an Eagles fan anymore. I think he quit after a while. So, anyways, all right. So let's talk about what we came here to talk about. If y'all got any questions, anything, definitely drop them. But we're just gonna go over the coaching staff as we see it right now. Now, obviously, today the running back coach position was filled. So we'll start from the head coach. Obviously, the head coach is Nick Sirianni. I feel real good about that. Then we got his boy Shane Steichen, however you say his name. Kevin Patullo. Then defensively, we'll stay on offense, actually. And then the quarterbacks coach is Brian Johnson. Jamel Singleton is the new running backs coach and assistant head coach, which will stay there for a second because I want to talk about him and the next person for a second. So now, obviously, I don't know much about Jamel Singleton himself. I know kind of just what we all know from looking at tweets and stuff like that. And we'll briefly talk about who he coached and everything. But my question more so, and the topic I want to talk about more so than, just him, is that position, that title. You know what I'm saying? Because he comes in and is basically the new Deuce Staley. You know what I mean? So, like, what is it about running back coaches? Like, is it the thing now? Like, because he was supposed to be the running back coach and special teams coach for Kentucky. Obviously, like you said earlier when we were talking, when the NFL calls, you come running. It is what it is. Like, but so he was supposed to do that with special teams, and I know special teams is one of those coordinating positions or assistant coaching positions, whatever you want to call it, that talks to everyone. You know what I'm saying? They're one of the very few position coaches or assistant coaches that actually has access to basically the whole roster, right? Outside of maybe quarterbacks.
Right.
So, to see that and then to see the transition now that he's making, this could mean more than it did for Deuce, but how do you feel about that? Getting a guy like that that's basically just going to be the next Deuce. You know what I'm saying? It kind of, he's black and everything. It feels like they really going for this Deuce thing, man. I'm not gonna lie.
It's definitely curious. I don't know what assistant head coach really means or does. I mean, even Anthony Lynn, before he got his head coaching job, he was a running backs coach and assistant head coach as well. So I don't know. Are running backs, because they're closer? You would think that the assistant head coach would be like the quarterbacks coach or something, because everyone knows that the league is quarterback driven, and the guys that typically get the next call up for head coaching jobs are the offensive coordinators or like quarterbacks coach if their quarterbacks are phenomenal. And why the running backs? Is it to give them a special title? Do they really, maybe because the head coach or I don't know, the offensive side is really pass heavy, so you go for a running back to be that extra voice to be like, no, we need to run the ball and all that kind of stuff. But unless Deuce was helping out this past season, that if anything, that's bad on his part too. The fact that we weren't good at not running the ball well, like, did he not have enough influence over Doug? And like, well, if Nick Sirianni becomes pass happy, what is this guy's role? Is he an assistant head coach or is he not? Like, what does that mean? I need someone in the comments. If you guys know, I have no idea what an assistant head coach really does in this league.
Yeah, I don't even think the Eagles do. But I mean, the Denard Wilson guy, he was a passing game coordinator and a defensive backs coach. So maybe, I mean, maybe everybody's playing two ways. I know in high school they used to, the quarterback would be the safety or middle linebacker or whatever it was, you know what I'm saying? And the running back was your cornerback. Like that's how they did it in high school. Maybe that's how we're gonna do it in the NFL. We're just gonna have everybody going both ways. You're gonna be our defensive, and since you know anything about defensive backs, you could run our offense too. Why not, right? I mean, that's what it is. So, I mean, he's like I said, he's coached some good running backs. The couple that come off the top of my head were Gio Bernard, obviously Joe Mixon, and then some people that you guys love to keep on bringing up. Naheem Hines, obviously, he had a hand in that. Marlon Mack, and some others. So I think
Colts Connect.
yeah, that Colts connection is real. He says he looks like Deuce's brother. He does, bro. I'm telling you, they twins, bro. They are definitely twins. And if you guys have time, go find him on Instagram. And he doesn't post much, so you can find the post that he did once he got the job for Kentucky. And he was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. He was like, woo, woo. So it was like hilarious. It was just so awkward that it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at him. I'm happy about him. I'm excited about him. I'll look more into him and figure out a little bit more of his story. But another person I want to talk about is somebody that we actually retained, is Aaron Moorhead. Now, I'm very happy that we kept Aaron Moorhead, to be honest. Right. I understand that our wide receivers weren't the prettiest thing on the field last year. This is the first time since I want to say like 2016 that we've actually kept our wide receivers coach for more than 1 year. In a row, I should say. But, I'm happy to see Aaron Moorhead coming back. I think that there was an obvious development. I don't want to say obvious, but there was a definite development in our wide receivers. They just kept getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. There was like 10 different lineups. But how do you feel about Moorhead?
Continuity, man. I mean, that's the name of the game. If you can have that continuity and just being able to know who you're working with, and having that same voice kind of tell you, I mean, not that it drowns out to that point, but just you're going into your second year. And a lot of our wide receivers are young dudes with a couple of veterans that may not even be here by the time the season starts. So for them to be able to start developing with Aaron Moorhead last year, that only does good things for our wide receivers coming up this year. Because if they were also going to get new voices, then it's just going to throw everything off, especially for young guys like Hightower, Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, who's going to have this full offseason and everything like that, and hopefully not get hurt. Even a guy like J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. I mean, we all clown on him. This is his chance, if he's still on this team, to really prove himself. Maybe because other people have posted film on like JJ, and there are times he does get open, and maybe it was just Wentz not trusting him ever since he didn't make that spectacular catch against the Lions when we could have maybe won if he caught that game. But if he caught that ball, but who knows? And having Aaron Moorhead at least to maintain that continuity could only benefit the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy he stayed. Somebody said, where I got to find it again. Hold on. I guess. All right. CJ Bengal said, if we get Foles, then who do we start? That's actually a better question than I think a lot of people initially will think when they read it. Because do you give Jalen Hurts a little bit of time? Do you wait? Does Foles even play? That's realistically, that's kind of where I'm at with him. Like, I don't even think if he gets traded to us, I think he'll probably just be like, listen, guys, let's figure something out. I'm going to retire. Like, I think he'll be done. That's right. Like, he wanted to quit a couple years ago. I think like, doing it with the Eagles would be nice.
Getting paid and sitting at home.
Yeah, exactly. Like let's figure something out that I don't actually have to play unless I actually have to play. But, like, we'll see. I mean, but who would you start before I give my take on that, honestly?
Hurts. I would start Hurts. I love Foles. Foles is that guy. But if we're going to put Hurts in last season in the predicament that the Eagles put him in, which was kind of a lot of pressure in a sense. You have Carson Wentz, who was a second coming to Philadelphia, all those draft picks traded, everything traded, and then you go ahead and you bench him, and then you're expected to go out there and potentially win a division, even though your team stinks. The rest of the division stunk, and the division was right there in your grasp. And he went out there and he performed. I mean, was it the prettiest at all times? No. It wasn't, but those were also learning curves, and there are people who are just like, oh, now you're going to give him an excuse, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, if it wasn't the season that it was or the team that it is, then everyone would have been like, oh, those are just rookie mistakes. He'll learn from those. He'll know that you can't wait a little bit to throw an out route. Otherwise, the corners are fast enough to jump them, stuff like that. So I'm sure he's going to get better with more reps. And I would rather do that than give Foles the rock and then us not be good. If we're not going to be good, I'd rather have the young guys develop.
Yeah, I would definitely start Hurts. I mean, I think that Foles would just basically be kind of that Chase Daniels type of dude. He might get overpaid, but he'd just basically be another coach that wears a helmet. That'll basically be what he is. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't
Foles
be mad
is
at
not
that
humble.
at all.
He's not a like.
Yeah, Foles would
he's gonna
teach
like.
him.
Right, exactly. The only people that would put any pressure on Hurts would be us fans. Foles wouldn't put any pressure.
I mean, that's a given. I think honestly, Jalen Hurts has more pressure on him now to say that I don't want to say to say something dumb, but like he has the pressure on him as a young man. You know what I'm saying? That all these fans, he could put a tweet out and kind of bash Wentz. Like that's very open for him, and people will probably love it. To be honest with you, people, and I'm not saying he should, and I'm not saying he will, but like knowing some of these Eagles fans, y'all people, some I'm not saying anybody in our chat or anything. Y'all are smart and intellectual and all that, but like there would be a lot of Wentz haters or whatever you want to call them that would be like, yeah, this my freaking. He has that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So like, kudos to him to not get caught in the club, to not be out there doing anything stupid to jeopardize his chance. Because listen, we've seen it all before. We've seen it all before. So kudos to him, man. Kudos to him. He's a grown man. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. He's just staying out of trouble.
He says it with his answers, too. He never really comes out and says, oh, this is my team. Oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to win that starting job. He never really alludes to, like, trying to really battle Wentz or battle for that starting job. He's always like, I'm just going to do what I can to help this team go further, and I'm going to work as hard as I can for the team. And it was never his answers, at least I haven't heard. Maybe I missed it somewhere, but to my knowledge, his answers haven't really been a direct, I'm coming for that number one spot. Forget everybody else. I'm getting there. I'm getting mine. It's always been, I'm here to help the team, and I will work my hardest to do it, which is smart answers for a young guy in this crazy situation.
He should say that though. I would have been mad at that if he came in. Like,
you would have been mad at that.
Ludacris song.
There's like
you remember that Ludacris song? And he was like, it was like, I'm coming for that number one spot.
Yeah,
I forget what song. With the Austin Powers beat or whatever. That's what I want from him. That would be hilarious. That would be him just on TikTok doing like don't do it, but that would be hilarious. If it was another team, do another, like Juju type thing. But all right, so let's keep going with this offensive. So we also have Jason Michael, the tight end coach. I mean, we've already talked about him. And then another person I do want to talk about is another guy that we were able to retain. And this goes hand in hand with AK Eagles' question, because he did ask, would you move Dillard to left guard? Let me make sure I read this right. So I don't. Do you put Dillard at left guard and keep Mailata at left tackle? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if he can do it, not everyone can do it. We saw what Jason Peters looked like at the guard position. Granted, he's a little older and banged up, but you would assume that Dillard has the athleticism and the speed to hopefully, like if he was being able to move to guard, he can be a guy that can be like a pulling guard and able to get over to the positions that he needs to. But I mean, those are things, because we all talk about the quarterback's personality and ego. Something about being that prime left tackle is also an ego thing, and that going to guard is kind of like I don't know if I really want to do that kind of stuff. Like it's kind of, I don't want to say it's beneath them, but there's something about being that coveted left tackle. So it all depends on Dillard's personality and his willingness to learn the position and really get down in the gritty with it. Because when things are getting tough for him, he was getting frustrated, crying, slamming helmets, whatever. So hey, if it could work out, I mean, we have Sayamalu. So if Sayamalu is still on the team next year, he was pretty solid once he came back compared to what we had all season trying to fill in. Once Sayamalu kind of came in, that was kind of like a safe spot between him and Kelsey. And then obviously Mailata, he was still learning, but exceeding expectations. and then our right side was just all a mess.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would not. My dream situation is that Dillard wins the left tackle job, and then Jordan Mailata is our swing tackle, because we saw when Dillard had to go to right tackle, he did not want to do it. So I don't think left guard is going to be, or right guard is going to be any different. So I don't want him, if he's not going to move, it is what it is. You could be the left tackle.
I would put him at left,
but you have to win it.
Like, you got Brandon Brooks on the right
I wouldn't
side.
put him at guard. He's not going to want to go to guard. But my thing is what's it called? The left tackle. If you're gonna win that job, that's my dream scenario, is that you win that job and we can keep Jordan Mailata as that swing guy, because I think he's built to be that. And just as far as the interior, we'll kind of play it by ear, because I mean Herbig might win a job if Jordan Kelsey ends up staying, to be honest. Isaac Seumalo is good, but Isaac Seumalo is kind of a placement type guy. I think that if Nate Herbig is even as good as Isaac Seumalo, they're definitely going to try and plug him in there just because of age and all that. So, I mean, I would probably try and hope that Dillard is going to win that job, to be honest, because that's more so what we need. We need that production out of that first rounder. What's good, Moochie? Moochie in the building. Moochie in the building.
Hey, I'll be right back.
All right. Says, how do you feel about Herbig and Driscoll? I think they both have high upside. That's what I was saying. It's all dependent on what happens with those guys. So like Driscoll, he plays guard, you know what I'm saying, and he can play tackle. So I like that guy a lot. I feel like he can definitely develop into a great guard in this league. And like I said, I'm very, very happy. That's why I wanted to say I was very happy that Stoutland stayed. Stoutland is huge. You know what I'm saying? Stoutland staying is huge. That was probably going to be my biggest area of concern if we weren't able to keep Stoutland, to be honest. Don't matter who's at QB if we don't go and draft for protection. We are looking for Hurts to play superhero ball. We have wide receivers to let them develop. I don't think we need to. If you're talking about going at the 6th pick for offensive lineman, I'm not doing that. I mean, I wouldn't even if you get the 20th pick for Carson, I'm not going offensive line in the first round. I think we have too many holes, to be honest. I still want defense. That's still where I am, but I mean, it is what it is. We're probably going to get Jamar Chase. I mean, like, that's kind of, I've mentally prepared myself, for Jamar Chase. So, but what are your thoughts on Stoutland and this offensive line?
That's another one. I like the fact that we were able to retain him is a blessing, considering what he just had to go through trying to help rearrange this offensive line, get people ready, get young guys that weren't supposed to even see the field this season ready to play and be out there. So the fact that we were able to retain him is good for the young guys like Driscoll and Herbig, and Mailata. I can't be mad at that. You got to be happy about that. You got to be grateful for at least that we have, because I know we're about to move to the defensive side, so we could start with the defensive line. That two of our veteran coaches that are like older are on the offensive and defensive line.
Yeah, we definitely have to rebuild. We definitely got to rebuild but offensive line to me is like something, like I've said, that we have. Breaking. See, every time somebody puts breaking in their thing, I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. But no, I think offensive line is something that we're actually good on. Defensive line, I 100% agree on. We have to start looking at rebuilding them. I don't think this is the draft, especially if you can get quality picks next year. I think there's some good D linemen coming out of next year. Or if you want to go mid-round selection on a D lineman, I would not be mad at that. Same thing with offensive line. I would not be mad if you went, mid-range picks on that position. But I think we have 3 solid players that can either be backups or starters very soon. Like, I think Herbig, Driscoll, and Mailata. And I'm not even counting Dillard, because I want to assume that he's going to be the starter. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you obviously have Lane coming back. You obviously have Brandon Brooks coming back. But you don't look at the first 5. That's how I look at the offensive line. You don't look at the first 5. You want to make sure that once that second line comes in, you're okay. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be amazing. You don't have to be great, but you want to be at least okay. So I think we're a little bit more than okay at this point right now, to be honest. So that's probably the least of my concerns right now. I'm sorry about my internet. I don't know why my internet keeps cutting in and out, y'all, but it is what it is. Can you read my comment? I just did. Oh, here we go. All right. Nick Foles trade coming tomorrow. In my opinion, we are getting Foles no matter what, if you like it or not, bro. I said this. Did you watch my live that I did? I think it was 2 days ago about Carson Wentz going to Chicago.
You talking to me or Kevin?
To you, yeah.
I thought you were gonna be like, did
to
you
you,
see Kevin? I did not.
No, did you see that? It was like 2 days ago. But either way, I said it in that video. I was like, what if? And I said it in the group chat. So I was like, what if Foles is part of this trade? Like, how would y'all feel about that? And then it becomes like an actual rumor. So I'm just saying, Joe Cleo over here. I didn't want to say it, but nobody else seemingly will. So what's the tagline that every Twitter source says is you heard it here first. There we go.
So no, you take Surtain at 6 and Bateman or Tony. Prefer Tony.
It says the one good thing is my audio cutting in. Like, let me know if my audio starts cutting in and out or anything like that, so I know what's going on. The one thing Howie is good at is selecting solid. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing we have to keep in mind. We got to keep. I know a lot of people bash Howie for his drafting. And his drafting has been, it's questionable in a lot of areas, but I mean, we got some solid players as well. So I mean, yes, we missed on some big players, big name players, but we've got some decent players too. Like, I mean, he did get us Goddard, right. He did get us, Miles, he did get us a couple O linemen that we just, mentioned. So we don't know how deep his hand goes, but he has gotten us some players at least some. Got to be a little bit optimistic.
Yeah, I don't think Foles is part of the deal. I think we draft a quarterback. Oh, Lord. Well, I would like to know.
I wouldn't be mad at
if people in the comments, especially Evil Eagle, are you talking drafting a quarterback high in the draft, like at that 6th spot, or are you talking later in the draft in like the 5th, 6th, 7th
What's
round?
The point? What's the point? Like, why would you what's the point in doing that? If you're going to draft a quarterback, so if you draft a guy in the 6th, 7th round, all right, which whatever, if you're going to do that, that's just a project quarterback, but that means nothing.
Brady.
That literally means nothing. Come on, seriously, that means literally nothing for the roster. So like my thing is, if you're actually drafting a quarterback to draft the quarterback, and like I said, I'm not saying they should, not saying they will. I'm just saying if you're going to go get a quarterback, then go get the quarterback. Go get a solid quarterback. But if you're not going to get a quarterback, then take Nick Foles on, and that's probably the easiest situation, to be honest.
But if you're looking for Foles to be a backup, why draft a quarterback that's going to want to go in there and try to be a starter?
That's what I just said. What do you mean? No, that's what I just said. I said I'd rather, if you're just going to draft somebody in the 7th round, then just stay with Foles. Then just stay go grab Foles.
But the 7th round quarterback's cheaper than Foles.
But what is it? So if you'd rather have a 7th round pick go in if Hurts gets hurt, I hate saying that. You'd rather have a 7th round pick that we have no idea. At least we know who Nick Foles is, and at best, if Hurts doesn't get hurt all season, then you have a coach. If not, you just have another guy you got to develop. Like at the end of the day, we're going to develop. We have to develop Hurts. That's number one, right? And then, so how many people do you really want to put on that development? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you focus your attention on Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Or focus your attention on Justin Fields or Traylor or whoever it is that you end up picking, if that's what you do. I'd rather just focus on somebody, because we see what we did trying to, focus on Wentz and Nate Sudfeld. Nate Sudfeld is trash. So I don't know what they still see in him, but it is what it is. But let's keep going down this coaching staff, because we only got through the offense. So all right. So defensively, we'll start obviously with the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, who I love. I mean, the more I read about him, the more I look up on him, is like, I think that guy is going to bring a whole different, attitude and swag to this team. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really, really excited about that. We got Philly Fresh in the building.
Hey,
go ahead.
I'm just excited to see something different. At the end of the day, we're going to have a whole new team and everything's just going to feel and look different. And I'm excited about that. Like, we're not going to have to worry about, let me take this back because I don't know if we're going to see it, but hopefully we're not going to see any sticks defense. Hopefully we're not going to see man-to-man the whole game. Hopefully there'll be exotic schemes in there that, even though Sirianni was saying easy for us to learn and easy, blah, 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 but you got to be somewhat exotic. And the Bucks just kind of showed it the other day, just like their defense was just outstanding. Granted, the Chiefs' offensive line wasn't the best, but their defense played well. And that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they can mix things up and it's just not predictable and not super easy where it's too easy for our players to learn and the defenses will never, the other team will never figure it out. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I think I love Jonathan Gannon. I have a man crush on Jonathan Gannon. I am not afraid to say it. I am being very honest. I like that guy. I think he's going to be great for this organization. Shout out to Philly Fresh, taking shots at me in his earlier video. You know what I'm saying? I peeped you, bro. I peeped you. Nah, it's all good. It's all love. I'll be coming in hot, especially at 10 in the morning, bro. I was tired, but I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to what I said. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to you. I appreciate you coming through. And shout out to Murph Kenzo in the building as well. He said something and I wanted to bring it up. Where is it? Oh, Pat Peterson. So he's saying Pat Peterson is available. Do you bring him in on a team-friendly 1-year deal?
Team friendly. I mean, what's team friendly to the Eagles considering our cap situation? Who knows? I feel like Pat Peterson, he may go ring chasing at this point. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't. So going to a team that may be in rebuilding mode, he might as well just stay with the Cardinals at that point.
I feel you, man. I mean, my thing is, bro, I'm not, like you said, I think you said it perfectly. What is team friendly? I need a real definition of what team friendly is right now, because team friendly might be like he's paying us a couple dollars because we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. So like I was saying it earlier, like I don't know if you guys read this or not. I follow Benjamin Albright, who's a Denver guy. But, you know, he's one of those NFL insiders that just got connections. But he was talking earlier on Twitter, and he was saying that a surprise team was the Houston Texans. And my thing, like I said to you in the chat earlier, is like, Houston Texans, they got nothing for us. What they going to give us, their stadium? Like, what do we want from Houston Texans? You know what I'm saying? Do you have 10 more first-round picks that we didn't know about or something? Because
right.
I don't know. I don't know. Fresh says you got to make a channel, bro. He says if you don't make a channel, he's going to stop making videos.
Damn.
So he just put you on the spot. He just put you on that Jalen Hurts spot right there. He just put you on the spot. He said, I heard if things don't work out with Hurts, there will be better QBs in next year's draft. What y'all think? I really don't know. Other than like Tua's little brother, that's the only person I can think of in next year's draft. That's really, and I mean, I know I'm not the smartest, you know, cookie in the pot, whatever the heck the saying is. I don't even know the saying. But I don't really know any. I've said it, man. We have probably 5 quarterbacks that are first-round quarterbacks. Now, I've consistently stayed on the fact that I want to go defense with this pick. But I've also been on and we could talk to RB, you could talk to Brandon. Me and him have been arguing about this for the past week and a half. But I can talk myself into a quarterback if it's with the mindset right. If it's with the right mindset, like. There's situations, and I won't go into that. I mean, I won't go too into it because it's just like a monologue at this point of me like trying to convince myself that it makes sense. But there are situations in my head that it makes sense for them to get a quarterback. I'll put it like that. There aren't many. There's a couple. There's like one or two. But all right, so to keep on the defense, so at defensive line, another guy that I really, really like is Tracy Rocker, an older guy. He's another older guy. I love this guy. I love the attitude he brings. And that's something I think we're going to continuously say is the attitude, the
energy.
You know, how they exactly, the energy, you know, just that and that accountability. I feel like with all these people, you've heard stories of them. Even Nick Sirianni, you heard the story of him being like, know your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like to his player. And I love that. So what are you thinking about Tracy Rocker? I feel like he comes into either a really good situation or possibly he's going to be having to develop some people depending on what we do this offseason. But what do you think about Tracy Rocker?
I think it's smart. I think our most veteran spot on the team is that defensive line. I guess you can count the offensive line, but we have a lot of young players now, and our like veterans and the superstars, you can say, are along the defensive line. And to bring in a guy that's like 29 years old to come coach the defensive line, that you could maybe run into some issues there. But you bring in a guy like Rocker who has experience, who's a little older, who has the energy. I've seen the videos on him, just the way he's coaching and everything. I think you can demand respect, at least hopefully, from guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, to really get the defensive line rolling again. I mean, hopefully he can get Javon Hargrave to continue to develop, because, I mean, we have money invested in him, and he needs to show out this season. Hopefully this is his season where him and Fletcher can really dominate the middle there. And then you got Brandon Graham and whoever is on the other side at that point. I'm assuming it's going to be Josh Sweat. And that's another player that can definitely benefit from a guy like this that's just so enthusiastic and ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm excited for this guy. I mean, no matter who's on that field, I feel like we have a pretty, and I'm pretty sure Fletch will be there. So, I mean, that helps no matter what, you know.
Oh, for
so
sure.
I feel like I feel we'll have a really good defensive line next year. We always usually do. And I'm sure that they're going to invest way too much draft capital in it at some point. I'm sure I'm going to be upset. But hey, hopefully they get my guy Shaka. That would be nice. I would love to get Shaka Tony. He is kind of rising up. If they can get him in the fourth, that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be too bad. Now, another person I don't really know too much about is Nick Rallis. He looks so weird. Not going to lie. So, like, hold on. Do you know which one he is? Have you seen the pictures
linebackers?
of him? Yeah, he's the linebackers coach. He's this
like
one right here,
28 years old. Yeah,
the guy he looks so, like, I don't know, man.
He
looks like he got an attitude, but I don't know. That's the one we want.
He looks like he should still be playing in the league or something. Like, he's only 28.
He got them shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. But he's young, and we don't have any veteran linebackers. That's kind of what I was alluding to. Of like, if he was the defensive line coach, like, would guys like Brandon Graham or Fletcher Cox really like respect him, or like really want to follow a dude that they're really younger than? So getting a guy like that, I'm sure he's going to be fired up more than anybody. I mean, you would assume the younger they are, the more enthusiastic and like in your face they are. And we do need.
You low-key do, bro. You low-key do. That's what I didn't want to say it. I'm glad somebody else said it. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're gonna need someone to get these linebackers fired up and ready to go and really be on them this season. Because even if we can get one guy, if we can draft the Micah Parsons, we're gonna need to make sure that the other guys are just doing good as well.
Yeah, and AK Eagle says, I feel you trade BG, man. 18 million for 8 sacks is tough to swallow. I agree. I've said that before. I think that you at least have to explore that. I mean, if he's open to take a major pay cut, I'm talking like down to probably like 8 mil, then, you know, cool. But I mean, I don't know if he'll be down to do all that. You know, so usually you just kind of like give him the money up front, you know, like you kind of give him like, here's $10 million. Like, let's just take that off your contract type shit. Like, so maybe he does that. But $18 million, I can't do it, buddy. I can't do it, man.
Yeah, that's
you are clutch. Yeah, you're clutch. You are probably the definition of what a Philadelphia Eagle is this past decade. But like
32 years old.
Yeah. There's not too much that tells me that you should stay. But we'll go to the secondary. Now, the secondary I feel like is very interesting. This is a place that, and they might add people. As of right now, you have a DB's coach and just a cornerbacks coach. So you have Jay Valai as the cornerbacks coach, and then you have Denard Wilson from the Jets, who I'm actually really excited about. He's me and Brandon found out today that he is what's that dude's name? Todd Bowles' illegitimate son. His doppelganger. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, we found that out today the hard way. I'm surprised nobody said anything in the comments about it. But yes. So Denard Wilson and Jay Valai, how do you feel about them at least investing? I feel like they're finally at least investing more than just, you know, getting Slay. I think this is a big move. I think this says that they really want to fix that area. But what do you feel about that?
Right. That's exactly right. The Eagles need to invest in not only like how we keep saying linebacker, linebacker, linebacker. Sometimes you can get away with that. But if you're not covered on the back end, it's a wrap from there. And it's a pass happy league, and all these teams are going to get exploited. I mean, our defense can get exploited. So you do need to invest in that. I'm glad that they have just like a cornerbacks coach, and then like like you said, the defensive backs coach. So we do need to focus on the corners. Maybe not Slay as much, but for the guys like Avonte Maddox that maybe is out of position and can play well. I mean, he's fast. So maybe him. Maybe if you bring Jalen Mills back, I mean, granted, I think he wants to play safety. You have that. Maybe Jaquette is better than what he showed because he's longer and a bigger corner. Maybe he was just starstruck, or maybe he just wasn't developed at all. Maybe they just didn't really like have the time to develop him, and then it was just like, hey, everyone's hurt. Good luck out there against their division rival at the end of the season against a guy in Michael Gallup that honestly can be a number 2 on any other team. So it was just, you just never know. I feel like the one thing we've been missing, and this is us fans talking, is that development and allowing the young guys to develop. We missed out on Sidney Jones. We missed out on Rasul Douglas. We don't know what they could have been under a different defensive coordinator, defensive scheme. So I don't know. You would hope that having at least 2 coaches in this one area can only do good rather than harm.
Yeah, and when they first like announced this, before I do go into this, we do have a new running back coach, Kev. His name is Jamel Singleton, and he worked for the Bengals. He worked for He worked for Colts, Raiders. He has a pretty good history, a good history of running backs. You know, yeah, and he was supposed to go work at UK not in UK, but the University of Kentucky this year. And unfortunately, that didn't happen for them. But let me start. But no, people, when we first announced that we had those 2 coaches, you know, people were like, "Oh, how many coaches are we gonna hire? Hire them all. Hire every single person. You hire a coach per player. I don't care. Like right. I'm down with it. I like you said, on the surface, you hope at least that, you know, the more people that can help and develop these guys, the more that it actually does help. So we'll see what happens. You know, do I think that we have any people on this roster that are actually worth a damn lately? I don't really know. I mean, I feel like it's like Slay. I have like an iota hope for Maddox that he could be a slot guy. Oh my God, Roby Coleman can. I don't cuss much, but I want to so bad. Yeah, he can. It's not even that he was bad. It's not even just that he was bad. It was like you came in here talking about, oh, I'm the slot god. You look like a 5'4" future, and you came in here talking about I'm the slot god. Oh my God, it was just the attitude. It's the attitude for me. You know what I'm saying? Don't come in here talking so hot and then play like hot garbage. Couldn't even get on the field half the time. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what we have. Hopefully, Michael Jaquette, like you said, can develop and become a good player.
Who am I missing here?
Say again?
Who else is our corners? I feel like I'm missing anybody.
So we have Michael Jaquette, Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox. I said those 3, hoping that it would give me time to think. But now we have Cravon LeBlanc.
Oh yeah, I think he's a free agent.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
We really don't have an outside corner, do we? That's
wild. I mean, and when we traded Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas, you were saying it. You were one of the first, but I think that was before we even really got this podcast going. And you were telling me all the time, you're like, why did, like, even if they're not that good, why give up the depth? It doesn't make sense.
They weren't even expensive.
And I was just kind of, Craig James is another one. There we go. Craig James is another one. That was a good one. I'm sorry. But go ahead.
See,
who's Craig James?
This is why they got 2 coaches, because we're hurting.
Yeah, I mean, we got Craig Mack. We got the dude that here comes a brand new flavor in your ear. That's what we got on our team right now. It's crazy. We had that other dude that came from like the auto detailer shop. I forget his name. Seymour. Was it something Seymour? Kevon Seymour, I think his name was. Kevon Seymour, I think his name was. Yeah, he's trash. I mean, good luck, guys. Good luck to Denard Wilson and Jay Valai. Let's all give them a year. I mean, I'm giving these guys.
Fire these guys.
Unless we go crazy. Honestly, I never, I was never on the Patrick Surtain train.
Well, see, I
until we
was just about
like,
to bring that out. Just right now,
yeah,
I was
like
just like, damn, should we take Surtain at 6?
like, bruh, I never thought about how desperate we might actually be at cornerback. Damn, that's kind of crazy. I really didn't
Yeah.
realize we're that like thin. I mean, that's really just Slay. LeBlanc is all right. Captain Cravon, but he's small. Go ahead.
He has his moments. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
but between him and Maddox, they both had moments, and I've seen them both celebrate, but I just don't remember their big plays. I think Cravon's big play I remember is the interception against Breeze in the playoffs. That kind of like made him like a fan favorite for a second. And then
he ripped the ball out of that dude's hands in Chicago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
That was pretty good. That was pretty nice.
And then Maddox, maybe because him and Goddard are best friends, so it's just kind of like I associate them to be decent. but damn, no, I could convince myself that Surtain needs to be taken at 6.
Yeah, and the more that I think about it, I definitely can, because that's kind of crazy. That's kind of scary.
If we can trade to get a first round pick, then a corner at that next pick in the first round.
I mean, if you get that 20th pick, that 20th pick might be clutch. Because then you could still get
that could be.
Yeah, you could still mess around and get you JC. You can still get Chase Smith, whoever's there, and then you can still grab a cornerback. Because damn, we need a cornerback. Micah, I love you, but I'm starting to rethink my position. Whew. Damn, that's bad. I mean, what is it with us though? Like, if you go back to before we had Malcolm Jenkins, we were in the same position with safety for like 10 years. We couldn't find a good safety, and then we just give up Malcolm Jenkins like it means nothing. And now we're in that position with our cornerbacks. We can't find a cornerback to save our life, at least to stay healthy. I mean, they don't stay healthy. I don't know. All right. So, and then for the special teams, we have Michael Clay coming back. Special teams is the best team, you know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing on the roster.
Yeah, that's
what our next head coach.
That's his bread and butter. Special teams, got to keep him.
I mean, it seems like that's what we put all our assets into lately as a franchise. Every time we sign some random person, they're like, no, he's a special teams ace. Like, okay, why are we giving
Braylon Arnold? Is it Braylon Arnold who's pretty good at special teams?
Oh, we do have Braylon Arnold. He's pretty good.
Yeah. It's either him or somebody else that you kind of spoke highly of that I feel like I've seen him on punt returns,
Rudy Ford. You're probably talking about.
Yeah, Rudy Ford.
Rudy Ford is my guy.
They're both small.
Rudy Ford is my best friend.
Yeah, Rudy Ford is good. That guy.
That's my dude.
A special teamer. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's my guy. I love him on Madden. I be using him as a third cornerback. That's my dude. He got like 93 speed. And I'm trash at Madden, but it is what it is. Actually, Joey Shakes added me on Xbox. I gotta play him in Madden or something. I'm bad. I think I like dropped my Xbox One tag in the community post, and I'm not good at I'm not good at Madden, so I'm definitely gonna regret that.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Hey, you got me. You got me a couple times.
Oh yeah, don't.
I'll give you that.
I'm a different team when I play with the Eagles. It's weird because like when I play with different teams, like I just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's like I get the Eagles, like I just get them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't know, but all right. So that has nothing to do with this podcast at all. I'm sorry, you guys had to hear that. He says, "Sam, let's play Madden, bro. You got Xbox One? Holla at me, bro. Holla at me. My gamer tag is in the community post." But all right. So the special teams coach Michael Clay came from Oregon. He used to be on the Eagles as a coach. I believe he was just an assistant special teams coach at that point. So, working his way on up. I don't really got much to say about him. I mean,
he has big shoes to fill.
Coach. I do feel like that. I do feel like some people are kind of hating on Fipp. Like Fipp didn't have the greatest of years these past 2 years. Like he definitely made a lot of questionable decisions.
It was like keeping
but
Greg
before
Ward
that we
punt return.
Yeah,
Boston Scott's a kick returner.
Really bad. Yeah. All right, I understand why people are hating on him for these past 2 years, but the first couple of years, man, we were having, we had great big special teams. Yeah, they were scoring. They were doing everything.
Jake Elliott. Oh, Lord. Yeah, this has been a rough couple of years.
He said we can't find good linebackers either. I don't think we want to find linebackers. That's the problem. Like, I don't think we care about linebackers. That's the problem. So, all right. So the main goal of this whole live was to kind of give it a grade. All right. So like and obviously we're doing this based on surface value, or face value, what we think that this coaching staff can be. Hold on. He said Phipp is an assistant coach now. Where? You have to let me know.
I think he's in Detroit.
Did he go to Detroit too? Everybody went to Detroit. Damn, we need to go to Detroit.
Detroit, what?
Shout out to Detroit actually, because we got that mock draft coming up tomorrow, right?
Oh,
we got Speakeasy Podcast. My boy Speakeasy Podcast. I don't think we'll get dismonetized for this, but he's done interviews with everybody from Kendra Lust, and if you know who that is, shame on you, and all the way to Darius Slay. I mean, he literally just had Glover Quinn on. Like, this dude's had so many dope people on his show. I love that guy. He's like a really good friend of mine. But yeah, he's gonna come on, give us the pick for the Detroit Lions, and he told me who he's gonna pick.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
It might be. A lot of people gonna be surprised because I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, really? Really?" I was like, "Okay."
It's interesting.
So it should be
once
fun.
we got past the Eagles now, of where everyone's gonna land. Like you're so focused. I'm like, all right, who's picking the third pick? Who's picking the fourth pick? Oh man, who's gonna be there for the sixth? And now I can kind of like sit back and relax in this mock series and like really like dive in. Like, dang, you're taking that person at that spot.
So he said, who you drafting? Before we get into the grades, I get so sidetracked. Like I went into like a whole spiel of like how we're about to give grades, but anyways, whatever. Shout out to Danny Cormier. He says, who you drafting with 20 in the first if we get it? Assuming, we have a mock draft in our head, who are some names that you think would be there at 20 that you would want?
I just said it before, J.C. Horn. I don't know, maybe Asante Samuel Jr. if you really are high on him. I think he might be a second-round pick, but that might be a spot you want to take. I think you can invest, especially if we take a wide receiver for that first one. I think we have to go defense, and whoever is there between linebacker or defensive back, preferably after having that conversation, cornerback. I think we need to invest there because I think even if Maddox can't play the slot, I think you can even put him at free safety, to be honest. He has the speed to do it, and he wasn't bad when he was there. He just looked bad being that number 2 corner against really good wide receivers who just for some reason had his number. So I think you go cornerback in that 20th pick if we can get it.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. You don't have to say this. But if Micah Parsons is really going to drop like everybody's saying he's going to drop because of his, character issues, let's figure out his character issues at number 20 and draft him because if he falls, and I understand you not saying it because, I'm thinking of hoping, that. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure he'll be going by like 7. But either way, if he does fall that far because of character issues, come on down. I would love it. But more realistically, depending on obviously who you draft at number 6, if you go defense at number 6, if you're really in love with Patrick Surtain, it also, to play off what you were saying, it gives you the freedom to also go wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be wide receivers later, maybe like a Jalen Waddle, maybe even like a Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts might fall. Realistically, I think that we're all in love with him and enamored with his like physical stature, but right. Who's to say what he's going to actually do at those pro days and camps like that? So
right.
Who knows? You might mess around and get somebody good. He says Najee Harris. I don't think we go. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think we go running back that early, but I do feel we need a running back at some point. Do feel like if
we do need a
number
number 2
seconds, we should get.
We do need a number 2 back, someone to complement. Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to re-signing Jordan Howard if he was cheap. I feel like that's a good.
Yeah, and depending on what's wrong with him, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him.
They gave him 1 carry last year, like a couple carries out of nowhere. They're like, Jordan's back. All right, now go back into hiding.
Says sign Eli Apple. Where is Eli? Is he still in what's it called? The Saints? Wasn't he on the Saints? I think he was with the Saints and he did pretty good for them, I believe. Ouch. If Eli want to come on down. And his cousin is I think it's his cousin or his uncle is Michael Blackson. I can
the
good jiggy with this.
comedian.
Yeah, that's his like either uncle or cousin or something like that. And Michael Blackson's a Eagles fan.
True.
Small
Hey,
world. It's I don't know
I'm about
why
to,
I went on that tangent,
I'm about to go
but he is
message him on Twitter. Be like, yo, talk to your cousin. We need some cornerback help.
for real. Like, tell him to come on down, bro. We need him. We need him. So, all right. So let's get back to
the grade.
on track.
What's the grade?
Yeah.
What grade are you giving? You go first.
So I think we'll do it. We'll break it up. We'll do offense, defense, right?
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Offense, defense, overall.
And then overall, I guess, yeah, we'll do it overall as well. Offense. Offense. I'll give it a solid. I'm gonna give it a solid B plus. Reason why I'm gonna give it a B plus is because I feel like I said earlier, I think we have a lot of coaches that are about teaching. You know what I'm saying? And I've said that early in the season early in this off season. It's not even the off season. I said this a while ago. I want coaches that are more about development than necessarily like just go grab a great player and make it work type guy. You know, like those are good. Don't get me wrong. Those are important, which I think Nick Sirianni is kind of that guy, but can, you know, because he can make anything work kind of. But everybody around him is just teachers. You know what I'm saying? And I love that about it. So I'll give them a B plus.
I'm gonna go. Oh, you're gonna go.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't know.
No,
okay, I'm gonna go B minus. I was gonna go B, but you know what? As a head coach that needs to be held accountable, just like anyone else, I'm gonna hear that press conference against him. He's gonna have to develop himself as a head coach and as a leader of the team and as a speaker, if it's in front of the media or the team. And we don't know about his play calling yet. We don't know. It's all speculation. All this. I mean, granted, this is an early grade here, but I'm going to go B minus. I think you did get some good pieces from around the teams, and they all seem to have a continuity with each other. And everyone's around the same age too, younger guys. So I'm going to go B minus.
Yeah, Stoutland's that old dude on there. He's the one old head.
On the
I
offense,
think Jason Michaels
him and Rocker.
39. Yeah, I mean on offense though, like offensively. Defensively, it gets a little bit older, I guess. Except you got that 28-year-old that throws everything off. But all right, so defensively, I would probably say a B, to be honest. I think defensively, like, I don't know if we really made any steps forward. We definitely didn't make a step backwards as far as like assistants go. I like Jonathan Gannon, but I just like Jonathan Gannon. So I don't know how he's going to be as an actual coordinator. You know, the Colts defense wasn't, to my knowledge, wasn't like amazing. So I don't know what he's going to do, but I think he'll be good. I do think he'll be good. And another situation where they have a lot of people that can develop our players. So I like it. I'll give it a B. I'm
gonna go ahead and go with a C plus. I don't know.
You know, like none of our coaches. Damn.
No, it's not that. Part of me was my overall is B minus. My overall, but it's just the linebackers coach. He's so young. I'm sure there's a reason why he got hired, but that's one of our weakest positions on this team, and he's going to have a lot on his plate because we're going to be asking for our linebackers to do well this season, or at least look like they're developing, look like the young guys are taking the next step forward. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be Luke Kuechly's out there, but they need to be able to play and be a little bit better than last year. And that's what I'm asking for. And to bring in someone so young, that's kind of seems experimental to me. That's kind of the reason why I knock him down a little bit.
My bad.
All good.
Yeah, I don't like that take. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just came on here like, nah, yeah, that's a terrible take. I don't know what you're talking about now. No, I mean, I understand that. I definitely understand that. The youth, I think, is something that can either work, you know, in our favor or it can work against us. So, like, I mean, you know, we got a couple grades in here. We got B minus overall.
C.
Someone said B plus. Someone said C until proven otherwise.
C.
So I mean, hey, we just looking at. I guess nobody likes our coaches, but I mean, at the end of the day, we got to. I'm looking at it like, you know, positively. I'm hoping that they can be great. I think they can, though. You know, we'll see. And the retention of Stoutland, Aaron Moorhead, and my guys. I can't talk today, man. Moorhead, Stoutland, and that was it, right?
Yeah,
Can we retain somebody else? Am I bugging?
I don't think so.
Damn, that's only two. Okay, well, I think those two people. Oh, I'm thinking of Clay because he came back. Never mind. So we at least retain those two people who I think were very, very good last year. I mean, Stoutland's been good his whole career. There's nothing you can really say about him at this point. Whoever ran the defense had Old Man Rhodes looking good. Facts. And he ran the safeties. I know he did run that. He did have a hand in that. So I think he was their secondary coach, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what he was over there, and like an assistant coach type. All of coaches have coached multiple positions, collective. I don't see where they can go wrong. That's another, yeah, that's very true too. That's something I like as well. I think that this is something to be positive about. I think that we have a good outlook as far as our coaches go. And if not, hey, they're gonna all get fired next year. I mean,
it's good that they have it all settled now. Everyone's filled, and they can start getting to work, start game planning and stuff, and kind of talking it out.
Yeah,
because the coaches can get together, right? It's just that they can't go ahead and.
I mean, at the very least, they can call, like, you know, or FaceTime. And internet's a hell of a thing at this point. You know, they can figure. I'm sure they should be figuring stuff out right now. Right. I hope so. I mean, they said that this guy before we go. I mean, they said that this guy's over here talking to everybody. Carson. I don't know. I don't believe any of this stuff anymore. I'm so at the point of just
I feel like
I'm
some
jaded.
Of it's made up.
Yeah, I feel like something's made up and we don't know what is, but Carson doesn't say anything. So it's like, you'll never know. At least Tariq Cohen went and like talked. That's what I would do. If that was me, I'd be like, yo, so am I getting traded, Kyle? You feel me? Like, oh, hell no. Am I getting traded, bro? But before we do go, I want to say a couple things. I want to just make a couple announcements. We do have some big collabs coming up. If you do watch Fourth and John, if you do watch Fourth and John, we have the co-founder, Gail Saunders, coming on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Definitely come through. That should be a lot of fun. And we'll just be talking, you know, Eagles drama as always. I mean, that's what we do.
Who knows? At that point, maybe Carson's traded. Maybe at that point,
I assume that's kind of why I told him, like, let's do it, you know, later in the week, because I was like, maybe by then we have something new to talk about instead of just boring you to death with the same old Carson doesn't like us. I think you guys know. But also we have Joe Giglio. I can't say his name. Joe Giglio, I think is how you say it. I'm sorry. From 94 WIP. He's also on Birds Outsiders on NBC Philly. So definitely that's going to be a lot of fun. We don't have a set date for that, but I'm thinking either tomorrow or coming very soon. I'm hoping very soon. So definitely be on the lookout for those. But other than that, man, like, do you have anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, just look out for those and continue to watch the mock draft series. Just because the Eagles picked, that ain't ending. Tomorrow we got the Lions pick, and then who's after the Lions? I forget.
The Panthers. So we're gonna have Panthers Nation podcast is gonna be on here. They're really good, really cool dude. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we're gonna be on this Saturday is the first Saturday that we'll be on A2D radio. So definitely be ready for that. That'll be 1 to 3. And then we'll be with Simone at some point. We'll be doing some work with Simone at some point this week. I think Wednesday, she said. But yeah, we got a whole long week ahead of you guys.
Yes,
so we'll definitely be here bringing a whole bunch of news. I'm trying, Hewan. I'm trying. It is just killing me lately. Look, and now I like Bleeding Green. All right. I like Bleeding Green. But we're gonna definitely talk to them because, you know, there was definitely some articles.
Who are these inside sources?
You know, there's definitely been some articles, and like I said, look, Gail is an amazing dude, awesome guy. I'm so excited to have him on here. I'm not gonna be disrespectful or nothing, but there's definitely, I know, some articles that I'm gonna be talking to him about. Same thing with Joe. I can't say his name. Same thing with Joe, because I know he's a big Nick Foles guy, and so we're gonna be talking to these guys. Trust me, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Always going to keep it respectful because we have to keep it respectful because that's what I ask of you guys. So that's what I do on my show. But yeah, other than that, man, shout out to you, Philly J. You do an awesome job in the comments. I appreciate you. Tyler Stickman, I appreciate you. Lawrence Taylor, I appreciate you. All right, now we're really going to get out of here. But yeah, so I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. around 12ish, my regular scheduled lunchtime. And then me and Brandon will see you at 6:30 with the draft pick. So
Yes,
other
sir.
than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here.